Hello, beach friends. If you like combing a really pretty island for stuff on the beach, well, I got a video for you because I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to take this shell tour, and we're going to Kice Island. Now, it is really, really early, so I know it looks kind of a little funny, and it's just because the sun hasn't really come up yet, and we are greeted by this lovely juvenile snowy egret and what looks to me like a whole bunch of seashells. Now this looks like a little crushed, but I really just kind of trying to get a feel what might be here. The tide, for all intent and purposes, is just coming in. We're not really going to talk too much about it, but we are getting a wonderful early start, which means the sun is going to come up, the island is going to kind of come alive, and we're going to be combing for beach treasures. Now we're going to find tinies. There's going to be lots of those little piles. We're going to be looking for little shells. We're going to be seeing a shell. That's only the second time I've ever seen that shell. We're going to be doing a couple of rescues, and it happens. We're putting some critters back in the water, and I'm going to find another shell that I just absolutely love finding. So if you're ready to see what's out there today, let's go to the beach. Okay, here we are at Kice. I pretty much just got dropped off. We're on kind of the side of the island. Depending on what tour you come with and what the tides are like is really going to kind of depend on where you're going to get dropped off on the island. Now this is just the piece, an end of an angel wing, and it was absolutely massive. So those of you who know angel wings, just wanted to look at that. I mean, that thing probably had to be 10, 12, I mean, just a massive angel wing. And then I never find true tulips. All right, I shouldn't say never. I rarely find true tulips. This is a true tulip. And I was just very excited about that. And I know the lighting isn't great, but I did want to show you. And a hinged spiny jewel box. Man, I have the greatest luck with hinged spiny jewel boxes on Kice. The first one I ever found, I think, was over on Dickman's, which is not too far away. Wow, that one was a really pretty shell. So it's still really early. Again, everything's just kind of waking up. It's cool out. It's not too hot. So it's just perfect. There's no bugs. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so what is in this pile? So apparently it is a colorful moon snail. So I already found that. And I kind of didn't want to cheat you guys out. Oh, I love little turkey wings. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So, a Florida cone. Oh man, cool. All right, so, think it's going to be a good shelling day, just based on what I'm seeing already. So that is a juvenile fighting conch. So it's a mixture, right? Oh, I see something I missed. So it's going to be crushed stuff. It's going to be tiny stuff. That is a top snail. Oh, I love the top snails when they're in good condition. They almost look like little tiny little beads all over them. Really neat. And I cannot resist a good fighting conch. If you've ever seen any of my previous videos, you know I kind of have a problem with these shells, that I just absolutely love them. So that is a Florida fighting conch. And this is our state shell. Oh, it's got some stuff in there. So that is a Florida horse conch. Yeah, it's a little beat. Yeah, it's not the best example of a Florida horse conch I've ever seen, but that is okay. Here we have a banded tulip. I am drawn to the gastropods, the shells that are not two pieces like a bivalve. That is a gastropod. That is a bubble, a banded tulip, and a Florida horse conch. Yep, a couple of tiny shells, which is good. Tiny shells means tiny cleanups. So I'm not opposed to looking for tinies. Now that is a crown conch that I assume has been kind of hanging around for a while because all the color is kind of leached out of it. Oh, I see two things. This, I think that is a Gulf oyster drill inhabited by an itsy bitsy hermit crab. Aww. All right, so we're going to leave that. There you go, friend. Just leave you right there. and I'm gonna go back for that lightning wilk for sure. Color is great. Aw, man. All right, well, at least I checked it out. That's a lace murex. I would say that's a pretty run-of-the-mill, like a pretty average-looking lace murex. It's nice. Ooh, and that is a colorful moon snail. It's got a little bit of beach stuff on it, but that particular beach stuff comes off no problem. So when I see certain kind of beach stuff, I definitely take it. Oh man, that's pretty. The color on those. So this, again, it's a colorful moon snail or a gaudy nautica. So there's two names for that one shell. This is an apple murex. So it's a little bit like that lace murex that we found earlier, but it's called an apple murex. For a while, I could not tell them apart. It did take me a little while. But now pretty much all the common shells I kind of know. So that is another one of those gaudy nauticas or colorful moon snails. Oh, it's so pretty with a little bit of purple on the bottom because that's on the inside. Yeah, shoot. I try not to pick these shells up when I start my walks because they're heavy. And it's still early. The sun is barely coming up. Gosh, it's pretty. So, well, so be it. If I have to have a heavy shell bag, well, it is what it is. All right, so that is a Florida con. I love these. They can be so orange, but man, I'm telling you, like 75% of the time they're broken. They're just really hard to find intact. Not these, not here. So that is a banded tulip. And that's another shell. For whatever reason, I pick those up too. Can't help it. Oh, look how bright. Gorgeous calico scallop. Fantastic. All right, let's wash it off. Beautiful. Awesome little calico scallop. All right, not hinged, but nice and spiky. So that is another spiny jewel box with a calico clam. Nice looking calico clam. And for all, these are relatively common. I mean, this is a paper fig. Is it common? You'll find it. Mostly I find those on Sanibel. So, from a rare factor, it's not terribly rare, but still, nice looking shell. Nice find. Olives, that's another one. So that is a lettered olive. I kind of stick to the super shiny, super pointy ones. And then I do love a really good, beautiful calico scallop. Awesome. Next up, we have a jingle. And these are also known, so another shell that has two names is also known as a baby's foot. And this is another bivalve, and that's a calico scallop. A lovely calico scallop. Now we're talking. Look how pretty. So I just stood there for a minute and I said, man, I am so lucky. So that's it. I'm not going to take too long, but just kind of pinch me. I can't believe I get to do this and I get to share this with you all. We got ourselves a shark eye. So shark eyes are a member of the moon snail family. The shark eyes will also sometimes have those weird white spots on them. I don't know why. Maybe that shell just kind of deteriorates that way. Don't know. And another spiny jewel box. It's a little bit spiny. Awesome. All right, another banded tulip. Yep, perfectly collectible, awesome banded tulip. And look at this. No, that's not collectible because that critter is alive. And this to me, now I was just thinking because it's so yellow. And a lot of the shells, when we find them alive, they kind of have a different tone. They're just more yellow. But we're going to find other live tulips that are not this yellow. So I don't know why. It just kind of had that color. But it's kind of cruising around there. Their bodies actually look a little bit like the crown conch. They're kind of spotted. It's like black with little white spots on it. So actually, very gracefully, just kind of cruising around. So that is our banded tulip. Kind of doing its banded tulip thing. A couple other people on the tour. And this is kind of like the cone zone. We're all at Kice in that island where all those little like roots are sticking up. That's where you'll find the alphabet cones. Typically, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll find something. So that area kind of there, it's kind of the cone zone. And like we talked about before, the tide is coming in. Whatever, that's fine. We can go over there. Kice is not really one of those islands where I typically spend a lot of time in the water anyway. It's kind of a rough island to traverse. See what I mean? Yeah, so you can a little bit. There's a little bit of sand you can kind of go out there, but for the most part, we're really going to be spending time up on the beach. Now, just to kind of show you what's here, it's a little bit messy. Got some logs and whatnot, little bit of sand, and I just typically just don't have a lot of luck here in the water, so I just kind of keep it up on the beach. I got a pair of those awesome calico scallops. Oh no, buddy. So that is a lace murex, and the critter is in there. I see its operculum and its body's kind of stiff, and so I don't know. I'm going to get it right into the water, and I don't know if it's going to survive or not. So what I'm looking for is to see if its body moves at all. And it did. It kind of retracted back into the shell. So I'm hoping that critter will make it. So we're just going to leave it there in the water. And fingers crossed, friend. Hey, got a couple of scallops to boot. Ooh. All right. So that's just a juvenile fighting conch. But this is actually kind of special. So this, and I don't know why I knew what it was too. I pick it up. I'm like, I think that's a Tampa turrid. I've only seen it once before, so I really do like shells. So it's a Tampa turrid. That is actually in pretty good shape too. What a cool shell. So it's, long like an auger, but it's kind of got all those steps on it. That was kind of neat. Happy to find that Tampa turrid. And good that I can ID it. I spent not maybe a lot of time, but a bunch of time with my shell books. So I'm showing you here, I had a rack line up there, I got a rack line here, I got a rack line a little bit closer to the water. So there's a couple different areas, and again, out of the water, up on the beach, that you're able to kind of see what's here. So that's a decent rack line, and so is that one. So doing a little bit of zigging and zagging. Still probably missing tons of stuff, and it's all right. I'm having a great time. Tons of little things here. Again, trying to not pick up the fighting conchs. I don't want to weigh down my shell bag. It doesn't always work. Try as I might. Sometimes the shells just call me. Like this beautiful, oh man, that's pretty. A beautiful calico scallop. Oh, another top snail. Cool. Kind of got that beaded pattern. Now, as soon as I pick up that, I'm laser focused on this itty bitty lace murex. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. Now, when the shell starts out, right, it's like a little itty bitty version of itself. So the top of the shell, let's take a look at that. I found this over at the Sanibel Shell Museum. It's an article about the lace murex. That is an itty bitty lace murex, and then it continues to grow and build its shell. So the very, very top of that shell was what the baby was, and then it just continues to grow. So I just remember seeing someone shared that lace murex article with me. I remembered seeing it. It's kind of interesting. I'll put a link in the description below as I admire this other hinged spiny jewel box, which is also pretty awesome. Oh. What more can you ask for? It's so pretty. There's so many shells, but I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy some beach time. Yes, yes, I do circle back if I happen to see something during beach time that we should check out. Look at all these periwinkles. Now, the mangrove periwinkle is that one covered with all of those that different pattern. The cloudy periwinkles are the ones that are more solid and only have that pattern at the top. So we are looking at both. We have mangrove periwinkles as well as cloudy periwinkles. And periwinkles live just above the tide line and they feed out of water on algae that grows on the rocks and plants and the logs and whatnot. So those are some of our beautiful periwinkles. That is a broad-ribbed cardita that is hinged, and I'm kind of scratching my head going, I don't know that I have ever seen a hinged one of those. I happen to like those anyway. Super cool. And I learned something else this week. So this is a fallen angel wing, but it has another name too that I didn't know. It's also an Atlantic mud pittock. Ah, what? I didn't know it. I knew it was a fallen angel wing, but I didn't know about the Atlantic mud pittock part. Go figure. Huh. And that's because I was spending time in my shell book. Because I like my shells. Oh, tinies. All right. You all are probably going to see stuff that I don't. It happens. I miss things. Or I just don't see it a lot of times. The lighting right now is really good, but as the day goes on, it gets bright. It gets harder to see. That is an albino prickly cockle. Super duper cool. Beautiful little calico scallop. Awesome. Look at the color on that jasper cone. Very cool. Yeah, and I don't know about you, I'm definitely seeing tinies that I know I'm not going to pick up. Oh, so that's a little lightning whelk. And I think that's where I'm going to stop. So all those other little tinies, yep, they're going to get left behind. I missed them. Womp womp. But I did get this Gulf oyster drill. Yeah, I think I can finally add that one drill to my repertoire. I do know the Gulf oyster drill. And all of those other little tinies. Awesome. Oh, I think I saw a mauve mouth drill in there too. All right, looks like I'm circling this banded tulip. Are you alive? Yes, you are. So that's what it means. That one's not that yellow. That other yellow, alive one we saw. And this one's alive. It's just regular pretty. Oh, I see it. Do you see it? A baby's ear. Now, it definitely pays to learn your shells, both sides, the side that's on top, the side that's on the different, kind of understand the other shapes of the shell, because that is what drew me to the shell. That shape I know is the backside of a baby's ear. Yes, it's gorgeous. A little tiny. It's actually a little out of focus, but it's an awesome shell. Look at the little chestnut turban. It's so cute. I mean, it's just the tiniest little shell. How cool is that? And I see a periwinkle there too. I'm going to miss. But what about this? That might be a Gulf oyster drill. Maybe. But that chestnut turban, it's so cute. Hello, lace murex. You are a little bit on the lacy side, so you're a little bit more special than the regular. Oh, it's a little broken. It's still pretty. Still pretty lace murex. Now, this is nacre. And periodically, I will pick up the nacre and we will talk about it. But what I don't do a lot of is talk about the actual shell that produces that nacre. Now, this is a pen shell. We have half naked, we have stiff pen shells, and we also have sawtooth pen shells. That first one was a half naked. This one is a stiff. And oh, and you can see the nacre there. So here's your shell. There's the nacre. It's on the inside. Those shells just don't appeal to me. So I just don't spend a lot of time on them. I mean, I don't even see them. Someone had mentioned, what are those shells? Because they're there. I apologize. I don't pick them up because they're just literally always there. So those are pen shells. When you see those big brown chunks in the background, we're looking at a pen shell. And here we're looking at a rather gorgeous bright orange. Oh man, that's pretty. There's no way I'm going to be able to leave that. Yeah, that beach stuff, that's not going to be a problem. Beautiful Florida fighting conch. Hi, lightning whelk with all sorts of beach stuff. What would you do? What if this was like the only great lightning whelk you found on your vacation? Keep it. We're gonna clean that shell up. At the end of this video, I'm gonna show you how that one, for the most part, cleans up. It's like pretty clean. And this is pretty alive. Buddy. All right, we have ourselves a live banded tulip. So that needs to go back in the water. Oh, horse conch. That's awesome. Awesome. That's a great size too. I like them if they're a little bit bigger, but that is a fantastic horse conch. It's got beach stuff on it. Also, not worried about the beach stuff. We're going to get that cleaned as well. Holy moly, there's lots of shells here. All right, let's scan. Oh, itty bitty what? Itty bitty lace murex. What little? Oh, me a drill of some sort? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. That's a worm snail. What else you guys see? I see that's the juvenile fighting conch. All right, how many of you are screaming at the TV at this point, or your phone? Is another little juvenile fighting conch. That's a bubble. That is not much anything. Oh, and this is an apple murex. Terrific. Oh man, I love the days where you just kind of crouch down and just look for a second and all the shells just kind of pop out at you. Here we have a tiny little limpet, and it's broken, but still. I love me a good limpet. Awesome little shells. And some lettered olives. I do like a good, yep, I'm looking for the shine. You see me kind of like molesting the shells. I'm just looking to see if they're nice and shiny. Now this was kind of neat. Now I'm not really convinced whether this is a Campeche or a false angel wing, but that's not what I want to talk to you about. What I want to talk to you about is this right there. Looks like a little tiny shell, and as the shell grows and gets bigger, it just keeps adding on to it. So just kind of like the lace murex, the bivalves too, they kind of start out looking like itty bitty versions and they just keep growing their shells. Just kind of neat. I like when I kind of see that kind of stuff. Holy cow, that's pretty. So those are both of those are calico scallops. The variations that those scallops can come in is so cool. What are we going after? Oh, I thought I found it. Is that an albino olive, right? And I'm like, no. You know, it's very white, but I don't think it's albino. There's just something kind of going on with it that makes me, there's like a little bit of coloring in there. Oh man. Now I'm gonna keep it. This is gonna be my stand-in albino olive until I find my true albino olive. So it's still kind of exciting to find it, you know, just another colorful moon snail. Yep. Very cool. Oh yeah, wouldn't want to leave this lace murex, even with beach. Yeah, that beach stuff will pop right off, no problem. A little bit sandy, but awesome shells. And I thought that might have been an albino olive. Close, but no shell yet. Or no albino olive yet. A true tulip. So I found two in one day. That's like huge for me. Now the true tulips are going to get a lot bigger. They're much harder to find, and they're just different than the banded tulips. The banded tulips I feel like are like almost super common here at Kice. When you go to a different island, you might not find them at all. So it just depends on the area where all the animals grow, right? So Kice is a nice rich area where all of these animals live, and they get washed up onto the beaches down here. No shortage of shells here. I can't I can't help myself with the fighting conchs. So a bunch of really fabulous shells. Thank you, Kice. There's your banded. There's a banded tulip. And I'm probably going to pass on that. It's just got too much beach stuff on it. What about this one? Yeah, I think that's acceptable. We should probably hold on to that. And why don't we go wash it off? And what I do is I mark the beach, so when I wash off the shell, I know where I'm coming back to. Yep, that's pretty. Definitely a keeper. And then when I wash the shells off, I'm checking out what's in the water in that spot too, so kind of accomplishing two things. Another real pretty gaudy Nautica. Gorgeous. Another, yeah, banded tulip with barnacles. Those barnacles seem to really like those banded tulips as well. A juvenile fighting conch. Super pretty. And, I wonder too, because we all shell different. We see different things and we shell kind of differently. So you all know how I shell. I would be so curious as to what you all would pick up. I would be curious. Beautiful calico scallop. Seriously? Look at that. Ah, it's gorgeous. Nice. Now, I wonder, you know how the lace murex and it was pink and the juveniles, see how the little spiny jewel boxes, they also have that pink on it? I wonder because of their juveniles. Oh, look at that one. That's almost like a lavender. Does that, some of those will, some of these lace murex is almost, nah, it's just kind of like a regular, still really pretty. And while I'm here, I might as well grab the fighting conchs, right? Another gaudy. All right, that's not the one I saw, but that's the one I saw. Wow, there's a lot today. More colorful moon snails. Oh, awesome. So that first one in front repaired itself at some point. Hardy little snails. Yep, gorgeous. Colorful moon snails. Ooh. Oh, that's really lacy. And it still has its little pink top. Beautiful. Yep, that's a gorgeous lace murex. Awesome. And another. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that little top. Oh, and that one's even lacier than the one before it. Yeah, I'll be careful. It's got beach stuff on it, but I'll clean that up. All right, cool. Another Florida cone. All right, that aperture is actually in pretty good shape. All things considered, we have ourselves another Florida cone. Cool. Oh, wow. Is that not awesome? At the scallops, we're bringing it today. Beautiful calico scallop. Awesome. What am I circling now? Oh, a little nutmeg. A little common nutmeg. Beautiful little shell. And you can get albino ones in this area. It's the only area that I've ever been able to find the albino ones. Oh, speaking of albino, we have another. Love albino shells. Love prickly cockles. So to find an albino prickly cockle, yep, that works for me. Another gaudy Nautica. And you can really see I found so many, the variation in these shells, kind of cool, right? Different, lots of color, some color, light, striping, just all very different. There's Kice picking my head up, checking out my beautiful surroundings. And I know we've been together for quite a while, so we're going to continue our walk next week. Couple of spoilers. I finally find a live alphabet cone. We're going to find this beautiful albino lace murex. And we're going to say hi to this very active fighting conch. Now there's going to be tons more, but I love little sneak peeks. So that's just a couple of things I'm excited about showing you next week. And in general, yes, not to worry. We are definitely still going to continue to find seashells. Now, I did tell you to stick with me to the end of the video because this shell, again, what if that was the only lightning whelk you found on your vacation? You're going to want to soak that in 100% bleach for about 24 hours. And basically all that white stuff, if you get yourself like a dental pick, be very, very careful. Anything kind of hard with a pointy surface, you'll be able to push those barnacles off the shell. So no problem, that will clean up. And we're going to finish our walk next week, which I'm really excited about because there's just a lot of other good stuff. So Patreons, thank you so, so much for supporting me and coming with me, thinking of me. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate you. And everybody else that comes along each week and leaves your comments, thank you. Believe me, I enjoy sharing these walks as much as it seems like you all enjoy watching them. So next week, we're going to continue our walk at Kice. Can't wait to share it. Until then, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.